It was. I pressed it.
Well done.
I did. I pressed it. It's on now, isn't it?
Yes, definitely on now.
It's on. It's on. Are we on?
Let's start again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Mudlarking Happy Hour once again.
She's Caroline. And I'm still Phil. And that is still the waterfall. Can you hear us now? Yes.
Yes.
No, we can't hear you.
Yes, it's okay. It's just running behind. I can see the sound.
That's all right.
Now.
That's the waterfall, which we were
So I shall try to show again.
Yes, there we are. Doing our weather. Caroline always wanted to be the weather girl. And it was wet, it was windy, but gee, what a fantastic place.
It was lovely.
And I know that a few people were thrilled, particularly Kyle, who announced in the comments during the premiere, 2 for 1, you can't beat it. We actually did a stop off at 2 locations, and we freely admit.
Gotta stop you. Oh, thank you so much, Tom Burley. Got a £10 super chat. Oh, thank you, Tom. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It's absolutely brilliant, and I was going to say something sarky about you tonight, Tom, but I'm not going to now. Well, I might. There's a whole hour to go, so stay tuned, Tom. You never know. I just might crack and tell him.
But thank you so much, Tom.
It's absolutely brilliant. You are a total gentleman. But as I say, we went to 2 locations, and we freely admit that this week's video was not all about finding bottles, pottery.
No, there's very little rubbish.
In fact, I think we found 1 piece of blue and white, which I got to be honest, I was quite chuffed with, because as I make the Monkey Panda games, it's always nice when you get a piece that's already made, because that's a double-sided pattern and it's totally smooth, gorgeous piece to pick up. But think about the only piece.
I know, it was amazing. It's lovely that the beaches were so clean, but it wasn't much good if you were hoping to find old bits of junk.
But at the same time, from the comments we've been getting on the film, no one was disappointed. People commented on the finds might have been a little, might have been few, but the view and the stories and the location. And people have been asking, are you going back? Or we'd love you to go back to that area. Well, the great news is we're still editing videos from the area. We've got, I think, another 2 videos to go out before Christmas. And better still, yes, as long as things stay or get better than they are, rather stay there.
I've got to stop you again. Sarah Anderson. Thank you so much, Sarah. Just got my glasses on to check. A $15 super chat. Hello again.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Hello to you, Sarah.
I don't know if you saw the little bear or whether I was engrossed, but
there he is.
There he
He's waving.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I've got to stop you again. Tatiana. Thank you. Let's have a look. Put my glasses on. I can't see a thing without these. Tatiana, €10 super chat. Oh, thank you so much. You are so generous. Lovely people.
Yes.
The Mudlarking, what would you call it? It's not a fraternity as such,
family.
Is it? Family.
It is a big family. It really is.
So kind and generous. Oh, thank you so much.
I've got to be honest. Not only the supporters, the people that come to us as subscribers and viewers, but even the Mudlarkers themselves. I've never been involved in anything where people have been so supportive of one another, and we've been involved in other parts of the world doing things and, you know, building up stuff, but never have we found such a group of people who are willing to share and encourage and help. And sometimes we get such lovely messages, and a beautiful message from the Kentish Mudlarkers this week, thanking us for helping them, mentioning them, and they were so thrilled to have got to 200. And you know, we all started with 0. That's the beauty of it. We all started with 0, and it's great to see people like that get to 200. It's great to see, you know, one of the things I love is seeing Tom, because I remember Tom started and we tried to encourage Tom, and then we just watched him go whoo, straight. He's doubled our numbers, and all the Mudlarkers, you know, fantastic accomplishments.
Oh, they absolutely well at now.
And you know, earlier on watching Donkey Bay 51, it's great to see so many, not just so many people on the chat in these premieres, but to see so many other Mudlarkers coming in on the chats, encouraging one another. It is a good thing to be into. It's wholesome.
Wholesome.
That's a good word, isn't it? That's a good word.
Right, before you carry on, I better check who the first 3 in this week. So let's have a look. I know who was first in because it was Adam's Advanced Adventures. Well done, Adam. Just about every week now, you're first in.
Before Caroline announces the second and third, can I just say,
yes,
that was not the first mistake, not putting the sound on, because when I tuned in under Phil Johnson, under my channel, because I've got 2 channels, PJ Talks and Phil Johnson, when I tuned in, I said, Car, you're not on mine. My computer's really running slow. No, I'm fine. A minute later, Car, you're still not on mine. And she said, well, funnily enough, there must be something wrong because Adam isn't in. Now, that's exactly what I said. There must be something wrong that Adam isn't in.
He always sets his alarm, so...
And Caroline went and checked, and that's why the countdown started at 1:29 or something, because we had it on private. We were going to do a private live show where we would only be talking to ourselves without any sound. What an entertaining evening.
Right, so second in was All the Glitters, well done, and third place was Charlotte Saniger. Well done, Charlotte.
Yeah, and then...
It is lovely to see the dino using the son and wife and grandson, so it's lovely to have them back with us.
And it's great to have over 100 5 minutes into the show. We've got 107 watching at the moment, so that is brilliant. I remember the days when we used to hope to get to 50 before the end of the show.
Yep.
Then perhaps we'll get 100, and now we're 100 in the first 5 or 10 minutes, which is fantastic. So that's really good. Welcome everyone.
Okay, Adam forgot his alarm as well, so it's not just
me. There we go.
Must be one of those Saturdays today.
Yeah, we have one of those Saturdays every day.
Right then, shall we get on with something vaguely mudlarking related?
Well, just for me to say, I was halfway through something, and look, because I got crib notes, I remember what I'm saying. Got to write it down. We're going back. We are going back to Aberporth, but we must tell you, there was a news flash today that said the worst location in Wales currently for the COVID virus is the Cardigan area. And the worst place in the Cardigan area is Aberporth, where we were. Obviously, I think that's to link to the fact there's been an outbreak in the school.
Yes,
and if you've got a small village and a school gets an outbreak, it gives you a disproportionate percentage. But we're hoping that travel will be allowed, because I'm finishing work for 2 weeks on the 11th. I was supposed to be retiring on the 21st.
Yep.
But our plans, as those who know us well know, were to travel Europe. Well, a mixture of Brexit and COVID, that's never going to happen.
No.
So I've delayed all that, but I am taking 2 weeks off, and we're spending 1 week of that back on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And we hope to make some more videos, so there'll be a lot more of that scenery to come.
Hopefully, as long as there are no storms, because whenever we go away, there are storms. It always happens. I don't know what it is with us.
Well, genuinely, that was not for dramatic effect. We could not stay on the beach when we got to Llangrannog, the day we got there. When we filmed all those rocks on the floor, they had been thrown up by the sea at the high tide, and just... I wouldn't want to have parked my car there.
I wouldn't want to walk either.
I know.
Knock you out.
So when we got on the beach, it wasn't safe. And I know we do things. You see us going into caves. You see us going into caves. But in all honesty, you've got to be wise. And as I said to a few people in the comments, when we saw there was any movement in the rocks or anything that was visible, we kept away. We chose where we went.
Yeah.
It's never actually safe. Life never is. But we couldn't stay on the beach. That's why we had to do the piece to camera.
At one point, I got so cold. I've got to go home.
Yeah.
I'm wet. I'm cold.
I just stayed.
Carry on tomorrow.
I just stayed. I'm a toughie.
Oh, you are.
I am.
It's a hat. So
it's
that extra installation.
It's the hat. See, that's what does it. Anyway, do you want to do something remotely?
Yes, let's do something remotely. Should we start with... We'll do a find. We'll do a find, and then we'll do a question.
All right.
It's lovely to see everybody in tonight, and there's lots of chat going on.
Well, here's an interesting find. This was interesting, purely on the fact that, as you may know, if you've watched the film, I found 3 pieces of this pot. Couldn't find any more. I got a feeling there's more around there, because see the clean break there? And as you'll have seen, they were all clean breaks, and I've been able to glue it back together. There we go.
There's still not a lot there. But...
Courtesy of my 2 packets of Gorilla Glue that I was sent by one of our subscribers, which is fantastic. I've glued it back together, and we've got about halfway round to the pot. And
we haven't got the bottom, so a third.
But it's probably all there. And my theory is, they drive the tractors down to tow the boats.
Yes.
And I think this must have come out fairly whole and then got run over.
Because the cracks are quite clean as well.
Yeah, they are. And even what's left there, look at that.
Done.
That's lovely new edge to it. So I think this came out fairly whole and then got crushed.
Typical.
Which is how I found the 3 bits. But a lovely, and it gives you an opportunity to see, even a small pot like that, look how thick. It's uneven as well, because it's thinner at the top, thicker at the bottom. But gee whiz, there's a weight on those pots when they're empty, because they're really thick, but beautifully made, and it is a find.
Well, there we go.
They were few and far between, but we have a find.
Oh, thank you, Rowena. Right, let's have a look. Pleasant Valley Picker said, Gorilla Glue, King Kong approved. Oh, there we go. I wonder if that's probably why they call it Gorilla Glue, is it? I'd never thought of that before.
Tell you what I love is the one I use is the one with the brush. I got to be honest, my mum had the one without the brush, and what she found was the nozzle blocks up and then you can't use it. But with the brush it lasts much longer and it's more precise. I'm not safe squeezing something that's got glue in it that can stick a person to themselves. I would be permanently stuck to myself and everything else. But with that little brush, I haven't had too many accidents.
No, you've done quite well, really.
I have stuck my thumb to my finger once or twice, but that wasn't on purpose, and I managed to get them apart, as you can see. But yeah, the little brush, that's just a tip for people who say, oh, I don't like using those super strong glues. The one with the brush, as long as you're careful, fantastic. Should we do a question?
We will. Monkey Sure, by the way, in case anybody's worried about him.
Yes, he's having a whale of a time.
It's just since we've taken our shelf down, we don't know where to put him.
Yes, he can't be in view, but and you may have seen he's now a trainee cameraman.
Oh yes, he's been working really hard.
So that we can do long shots and we can wander away. He takes charge of the camera and doing some great work.
Now, Lexi likes the gel Gorilla Glue. Gel Gorilla Glue, there's too many G's there. It doesn't run everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, that would make it a bit easier too.
Yeah, but it'd still stick your finger to your thumb, wouldn't it? You know, because that's my problem.
Definitely with Phil.
That's my problem.
Yvonne said a blacking pot or an inkwell question mark. I think that's a blacking pot because the inkwells were shorter. The blacking pot, you needed a good bit of blacking, didn't you, to do your whole fire range. So I think that
amazingly
was
clean on the inside, mind, if it ever held blacking, isn't it?
I suppose.
You know, it is amazingly clean. I wonder if it had oil in it
it's
or
glazed
something.
though, so it wouldn't...
I don't know, I thought it would have at least discoloured it. I suppose there is discolouring at the top, but it is incredibly clean. But a nice find. You know, it's like Caroline said, and I said on the video, because this find here, absolutely beautifully smooth little piece of cut base, I think, is the only thing I found in 20 minutes on the beach.
Yep.
But genuinely, it wasn't just a cover story. At the end of the day, folks, there's something sad if we're mourning that the beach was clean. I said to Caroline, what we've got to do is find all the blue flag beaches. In the UK, if a beach is beautifully clean, they put a blue flag, because that's a sign, don't come here if you're looking for something.
Sorry about this. We're
going to move.
That camera's not quite right.
We're moving.
There we go. Let's try that. There we go.
There we go.
We're a bit more central now.
So, but that was the little find I had, and that is lovely and smooth. You just can't imagine how smooth that feels. That's been in the sea for such a long time. But at the end of the day, we didn't go without. We weren't without finds, because as you will have seen, and if not, then watch the movie, we had a game of plain or patterned.
Yep.
Provided by nature, because there's our plain or pattern game in its original box.
Very classy.
So there we go. I might actually start, if we go back, I could even start producing beachcombing plain or patterned.
Oh, yeah. Mo said on you, great ideas for Christmas cards, Caroline. So enjoying the channel. That's for anybody who doesn't know, I've got an art channel called Caroline Art. That's not
then
very
you
original,
obviously haven't watched the film, because Caroline stuck an even bigger blatant.
That's right, blatant advertising.
Yes.
But I've got one more lot of Christmas cards that I'm planning on making, really simple, easy ones, because I don't want to make anything technical. I'm still not that good. I'm only beginning, but I have got. I want to show you a quickie. I know this isn't really mudlarking related, but I've got to show you.
She's cheating now.
I had somebody got me something off my wish list from my art, and they want to stay anonymous, but I got these pens and I got a whole lot of Posca pens and a whole lot of Christmassy festive washi tapes. So I'm going to get busy with those. Hopefully within the next week I'll have an easy to make Christmas card video up again.
Yeah, and on the subject of anonymity.
Yes.
Anonymity. That's just Welsh for anonymous.
Perhaps we better stop now.
Yes. Big thank you to someone who remained nameless.
Yes.
But sent us a lovely message along with a fantastic donation in coffee. They sent it without their name, but they said some lovely things. And I just want to say, we find so much encouragement. Some days, in all honesty, I'm not just making this up, some days I go to the channel, read the comments, and virtually every day, the first comment I read lifts my spirits because people are so encouraging. And there was a beautiful message left for us on coffee and a wonderful gift.
Yes, but no name, so whoever you are, thank you very much.
We appreciate the fact you didn't choose to notify us of your name, that's fine. But we were taking this chance. Hopefully the message will get to you because this video will be out for 2 days.
And just before we get to the next question as well.
Next question under the first one.
Under the first one. On the bottom of the screen it says there. That is because it's got to stay there. When people give us coffee, I've said I can't say thank you. Well, I found this new thing now that I can put on screen. So if anybody donates through coffee while we're on live, it'll come up and say thank you. So that's what that's all about. But you can't have the one without the other. So, so you know.
We've just subscribed to something with coffee that gives us access to a lot more things so that we're more aware of what's happening. Because YouTube will notify us of what's happening in YouTube. But
nothing else,
not the outside. So we've registered. And there's exciting news coming up there because coffee do give us the opportunity now to open a shop, to be able to sell items in coffee. Also, they give us the opportunity for subscriptions and to build more content through them. So we're looking at that, and hopefully there'll be an announcement in the big show. And everyone's saying, which big show? Phil's big birthday bash. Make a note in your diary, 19th of December, 2 days before my 60th.
Yep.
We will be here live and celebrating, and hopefully we'll have some big news then about things that are happening through coffee and other stuff, because I am determined that my 60th birthday will be a turning point, and I'm going to be able to do less of other things and more of this.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. So if you want to be in on that, if you want to be in on the birthday bash, my birthday isn't until the 21st, but the big show will be live on the 19th.
Right, let's get on a question quickly. There we go, we got there.
Right, it's a waterfall question, but not about that waterfall.
No.
Because this waterfall question is simply this. Despite being relatively low on the list of the world's largest waterfalls, at merely 3,950 feet wide, this waterfall does have the record for the largest volume of water travelling through it. Which waterfall am I talking about? It's not the biggest in the world, but it carries the biggest quantity of water through it.
And he's quite famous.
Suppose so, yeah. I suppose people will have heard of it.
Oh, right, we got... No. We got some things coming in, but is that one? That's not that one, is it?
No.
No. My geography is shocking. I enjoy geography. It's just
gotta
that I just don't know a lot.
Yeah, as the teacher used to say, it's got to be what's written on my sheet.
Right, so we got lots of answers coming in already then. Oh, you're all really fast at this. We got 2 different falls coming in. We got Victoria Falls and the Niagara Falls.
No, Mr. Burley. Mr. Burley, who Deb has now christened Super Quick but Cheeky Gentleman due to his thumbs down fiasco last week while winning the quiz.
Oh, we haven't got any thumbs down.
No, don't say that. Tom will start. Don't start him now. Don't start him. That obviously our thumbs down person hasn't arrived yet. They've had a late start. But he's come up with a different one to everybody else.
Oh, right.
Right, so that's probably... So if anybody now says what Tom said, they're going to be out on a limb because he's come different to the others.
We got another one that's different as well. A couple of people are saying Inga Falls. So we got Bioma Falls. Lexi said autocorrect kept altering the answers. Oh, it does that. It's really frustrating, isn't it? Oh, we got 2 downs, 3 thumbs down now.
Oh, I told you, you start. Look, 4.
It's getting more.
We got 61 thumbs up. They're all giving us thumbs down now. This is Tom. So he started this last week. Give him a thumbs down, then take it off.
3. It's gone down 1.
They felt we were disappointed. See, it's all interaction.
Cody had a good one. Phil falls.
Oh,
very
yes.
good.
For those who haven't seen me fall, I might do a video one day of all my falls. If they ever lock us in for another 3 months, then I'll have to go through the archives and dig them out.
One of the first falls Phil ever did, I won't tell you about it, you can watch it on the video, was one of the funniest falls ever.
Switzerland, is it?
No, I'm on about the
burn. When I fell down in Scotland.
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't funny. I was actually holding the camera at the time. In fact, when you just said that, I could feel the pain in my shoulder. I can still feel it. Oh, poor me.
I must laugh.
Right. Well, the answer actually is Niagara Falls. For volume of water, the Niagara Falls carries the greatest volume of water. And the first correct answer in, I believe, was Cody.
Well, Phyllis has put an answer in that does deserve mention. She called it Niagara Cumboy Falls.
Oh, there we go. But you got to get in first to get the prize. So, in reverse order, our top first 3 were Antoinette, Christina and Cody. Cody was number 1. But see, we're all nervous now. We're all nervous now because either Mr. Burley is trying not to win because he doesn't want me to keep calling him super quick but cheeky gentleman, which was what Deb christened him on our comments, or he knows something the rest of us don't know.
Which is it?
But I'm just blaming the Niagara Falls tourist people for bigging up their falls if they're wrong.
Barbara said I should have known that. I live there. What a wonderful place to live.
Yes.
Well, that is nice. Never been there. Perhaps one day.
There we go. So there we are. That is our first question. Cody's in with a first answer and got it right. Not bad. 25 minutes and I've done 1 question.
Yes.
That means we're here for 2.5 hours at this rate. But what have you got, dear? What have you got?
I got a tab full of things here, so it's knowing what to show you. I think I'll show you our... Sorry for the clattering.
Big one.
Big one. There's the outside of it. They look quite rough and plain on that side, but then they're quite shiny on the inside. So that's a really nice oyster shell, that one. And we didn't find a lot of shells on that beach, funnily enough. Finding a big one like this was quite a treat. Some beaches we go to in Wales are covered in shells, but these, there wasn't virtually no rubbish and there weren't many shells. There wasn't a lot of seaweed either, though, really.
No, we did find one big patch and decided it was worthy of filming, didn't we?
Yes, but
got the waves coming over.
I mean, you go to Porthcawl, which is one of our local-ish beaches.
You'll break your neck walking on the seaweed
completely
down there.
Covered, but there just wasn't much there, so I wonder why that is. It must be the way it's in a big bay called Carmarthen Bay. It is Carmarthen Bay, isn't it?
That one's Cardigan Bay.
Cardigan Bay, sorry.
Yeah, Cardigan
Bay. And I think maybe everything's getting washed past. You know, you've got the curve of the bay there and everything's going somewhere. And if I could find out where it was going, we'd go and visit it.
Because Cardigan Bay stretches from Cardigan right up to above where we were. There's two pieces of land coming out a little, and everything in there is listed as Cardigan Bay. So Aberporth, the beaches, all the beaches we visited were on that bay, but obviously individual beaches, and we've got lots of beautiful scenery to come.
People say now how big this is. Can you imagine if there was a pearl stuck in there? Oh, we'd be rich, wouldn't we?
Mind you, it doesn't look as big in my hand as it does in yours.
No. I know.
See, when I hold it, it doesn't look as big because Caroline, everybody I'm sure remembers Caroline's new gloves last week. When they arrived and I was secretly intercepting the Amazon man and I opened them to check they were okay, I thought, good grief, they're for a child. So I had to sneak to the car, get Caroline's bag out and measure the glove against the glove she was already wearing, and then I remembered, yeah, she's tiny.
But if you look, wrong one. If you put it there, if I put my bottom of my hand there on Phil's, can you see the difference? I don't know if you can. Sideways on.
Well, there's my fingers.
I've got tiny little hands.
And I got hands like shovels.
You have. Right, let's have a look, see if there's... I haven't been looking at a lot of the comments. We've been so busy chatting, so we got all the questions come in. And
I think
Margie
right
lives next door to one of the most popular shelling beaches of the world, Sanibel.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh, thank you, Cody.
Rowena made a good point. And it's borne out by the fact we were playing the game. So there were lots of lovely...
broken shells.
Yeah, there's lovely bits because we picked up some bits, didn't we? And they really were nice and very well patterned. But the whole shells were fewer and further between, like.
Yeah, so... Yes, quite likely they've all been pounded to death, but not that one. Right then, let's have a look at another.
Got some other nice ones.
Yeah, I've got a few nice shells. There's a little one, little dinky one. That one inside, see how dark that is? But I love the sort of shiny look on these shells. I can never think of what you could really do. I know you can make something like a wind chime and that, but they almost feel like they should be put in some sort of special place shells. They're so precious and yet so common.
Something somebody suggested that they do with their shards, which you could do with shells, is to use them as mulch on pots.
Yes, that'd be a good idea.
When you've got pots out on the patio and that, put them under the plant so that they stop the water evaporating out and look pretty under the plant.
Yeah.
Now there we are. See?
Thank you. Good advice.
Wasn't my idea. Somebody else suggested it, and I thought it was a good idea.
We got that one. I love these ones. I can't remember now. Are they clam shells? Little clams? There's the inside of it, but they always look, they're even nicer when sometimes they've got the little join there. It's like a bar across the top. And when we were in Punta Sabbione in Italy, they were actually, you could find them and they were still jointed. As long as you were very careful, you could actually open and close them.
Now, Norma is saying that according to Google, she just checked, and on the list of greatest by volume, Victoria comes 7th and Niagara only comes 5th. So there are 4 above it.
Right, so
but that's okay because my research gave me Niagara.
What is your sources are wrong.
I tell you, it's them tourist boards out there. They're trying to big up their fall so that we'll all go there. They're trying to make up for the fact that it's a midget fall with lots of water going over it. That's what it is. But not to worry, Cody's still right because she agreed with me, which is how it works in this game.
So modest.
It's the only place I can be right, so I'm going to be right. For once, for half hour.
Pleasant Valley Picker said, can't imagine being an oyster, spending your life in a shell. Yes, but you get to live at the beach. So that's one positive. Unless you live in Wales, when it's really freezing most of the time.
I tell you, there's a video out on our channel as well from when we were at Punta Sabbione. And we had some lovely shells there, didn't we? Remember, that's just across the coast from thing. You'd already said that, did you? There we are. Well, I wasn't listening.
I know.
Because I was busy. I was busy reading, and I can't do 2 things at once.
This is right.
It's a known thing. They reckon men can't multitask. Well, I can't even listen and read.
No. If Phil's reading, he's gone.
Yeah.
It's pointless. I can chat away, and he doesn't hear a thing I say.
Yeah, and it's not just Caroline. I don't ignore Caroline. I don't hear.
No, your brain switches off completely.
And I've also got the excuse that I've got industrial deafness, which does help. It doesn't help to be deaf. It just helps as a reason for not hearing things.
Lee lives in an old fisherman's cottage and has pebbles and shells on the mantelpiece.
Lovely.
That's lovely. Oh, Sweet Blue said now would be a good time to be in a shell. You wouldn't need a mask. This is true.
But life's quite boring. Even in lockdown, it's more exciting to be human than it is to be...
Or is it relaxing? That's the thing, isn't it? Now, one man's boring, so another man's peace and quiet.
Yes.
One person, I should say.
Yeah, but then somebody come along and eat me, so that wouldn't be fun.
No. Not if you were a shell. Yeah, only if you were living in a shell.
That's right.
Got a few more shells there. These are pretty. Sorry for the clattering.
She's not really...
I know this sounds awful, but they remind me of chocolate. And I do have a fascination with chocolate, I think, because so many things, like slipware, the old slipware really reminds me of chocolate. They got a Cadbury's chocolate out now. It's a brown bar with white Christmas trees, and it reminds me of that a little bit. But there we go. Nice chocolate-looking shell.
Have you been to the Shell Grotto in Pontypool?
Shell Grotto. And we lived in Pontypool for a while.
Up on the hill. Up on the hill, on the way to the... Am I right? Is it when you climb from...
You're talking about the folly, are you?
When you climb to the folly, on the way up there was a grotto.
Oh yes, there was. It was a while ago we went.
Yeah, and it was lined with shells. Is that the one? Because we lived over in Pontymoyle for a short while, about Pontymoyle we were living.
Were we in Pontymoyle?
Yes.
I have no idea. I thought
our flat was in Pontymoyle. We'd gone to Spain for 6 months.
Yes, by the Folly, Jenny said.
Came back and we stayed there while we had tenants in the house. So we were over there, weren't we?
Did we put Pontymoyle in our address? I can't.
No, I used to because I
never did.
I fussy like that. I like to put everything in. Right. I would put Gilbert.
I don't even know where I live.
No, it is Pontymoyle. It's Lower Cwm, Pontymoyle, Pontypool.
Right. But
you can get away with Pontypool. As long as you put the postcode on.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, we walked up there.
It's not just me. Lexi is thinking about Belgian chocolate seashells now. Oh, yes.
Yes. They got that stuff in them, haven't they?
Praline, yes.
Praline. I like praline. I'm into the triangles in one of them. Which one is it? Is it Quality Street got the triangles?
I think so,
The green triangles. They're probably not triangular anymore. They're probably stuck in a bag or something now because they've changed everything.
Right, now I've got to ask, Tom, giant can of baked beans on our mantelpiece. Why have you got a giant can of baked beans on your mantelpiece?
He just likes to be original. Somebody had Cody, I think, had shark teeth. So he had to come up with something that was different. Like everybody's showing off.
You have to tell me now, Tom. Right then.
And is it open?
Yes. Did you already eat the beans? So, shall we have another question?
We could do because it's getting rather halfway through-ish.
I can't see. Put my glasses on.
Put your glasses on, dear. Woman of the 19th century. What was her bardic name? As I said in the video, she was the first ever woman to win a major prize at the Eisteddfod, which was being held at Aberystwyth. And when she won the prize, she was given a bardic name. And we mentioned this on there. She was an incredible lady. She taught music. She was an editor of a magazine. She was a what's the word for it? A chief mariner by the age of 21. And what I didn't mention in the film was she set up a school to train other people to be captains of ships. And they were and when they became a captain, they all took the name of this name and then captains. They were her captains. And she trained captains of ships. Amazing, incredible woman. And really standing up for women's rights at a time when they didn't have many. Imagine being a sea captain at 21 at a time when 21 was the age you became an adult, and an adult woman had no rights, no voting rights or anything.
Right, now you're going to have to say the name again because I accidentally pressed the wrong button and we went to the thumbnail instead of the webcam. Sorry. It's one of those nights.
What's that?
So, can you say the name again of the person you're asking the question?
Right.
What was the beginning of the question?
Sarah Jane Rhys of Llancrannog has been described as the most formidable woman...
Sarah Rhys.
Sarah Jane Rhys.
Sarah Jane Rhys.
Most formidable woman of the 19th century. What was her bardic name? So they didn't hear my question.
I don't know if you couldn't see it. Yes, it was me. I confess. And I do it again.
There we go. I was so busy getting carried away with me talking. I didn't know that people were saying, we can't hear the question.
I was saying, why can I see the thumbnail? And then I realised.
Yeah,
right.
So, does anybody know the bardic name? Begins with C. The bardic name.
Oh, well done.
Oh, somebody's having a go here. Somebody's having a go.
Got the first one in. And here comes another one.
Another one, yes.
But are they right? It's got very quiet. Here comes a third. We got three. Oh, no.
Cumboy. No, Rufus, everything's cumboy here, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, there we go. So we got not a lot of answers coming in on this one. Mind you, I suppose a lot of you may need to cut and paste the word because it's not an easy one to spell, is it?
No, but
there we go. I think that's it on the answers.
We have 4 correct answers because Rufus Cumboy is not correct. Lexi had Cronogwen, Margie had Cronogwen, Mo had Cronogwen, but in first was the super quick but very cheeky Mr. Tom Burley.
Well done, Tom.
Yeah.
And you still haven't told me why you've got a tin of beans on your mantelpiece. I'm having a look and I can't see. You have to tell me. It's the law.
Yeah, Cranogwen, that's what she was known as, and they were Cranogwen's captains. She actually trained, and they became seafaring captains. And for a woman to be training men, absolutely unheard of.
Oh, wait a minute, Dawn said got it ages ago, apparently.
Oh, there we go.
Right, thank you, Tom.
Sorry. Missed that.
Right, oh, I don't know. Technical issues again, that's my excuse.
There you are. Dawn, you were so fast, you'd gone way up. There you are. You were absolutely right. Dawn, you're in. So therefore, Tom, you are the slightly slow but very cheeky Mr. Tom, because you have second place. But there we go. Sorry about that, Dawn. I'm just checking there was nobody any higher because everyone else was struggling with the question. So instead of a row of answers, Dawn came in all on her own. Well
Impressive.
done. So you are quick, cheeky, and very honest, Tom. Fair play. Always said he was a gentleman now. So there we go. Cody got one.
Oh, Jen's
Dawn's
just come
one.
in. Hi, Jen.
And we're doing well. Yeah,
you got to find show us?
Right, have a look. No, where's they got? Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Yeah, can't beat a lump of rusty iron.
You know, it's either going to be a brick or rusty iron with Phil.
Yeah, we didn't find no bricks. Look at that. Isn't that a nice lump of rusty iron, folks? Yeah, what is there not to like about a lump of rusty iron? With a very flattened piece here, we pointed this out, and Caroline was saying that she'd seen that on a drawing she'd done that morning for a diving helmet. And I got the sense that it was deliberately designed to lock against this here, this ridge that's sticking out. So it would catch against that flange. You could turn the nut without having to have a spanner for the other side. So a single spanner could turn it. Because if there's anything to do with the marine world, you do need your hands free. So it's a one spanner job. But that was quite a lump. And those who've watched the film will remember the story I told of the Parry family who built their first ever boat there on the beach where we found that.
Well, Viennese treasures are in too. A lot of people coming in a little bit later.
Oh,
hello?
Brilliant. 140.
And James said, bin it, Phil. And Crafty Caravanners are singing again, any old iron.
There we go. I tell you, we're prompting the songs. I can't sing them because Caroline will tell me off.
Yes.
One, we may get demonetized, and two, I don't sing well. Isn't it, dear?
Yes.
She tells me off for singing around the shops.
Not bad.
I can sing around the shops these days because Caroline hasn't been shopping since March. She sends me in case I get COVID, saying she don't want it.
Cody said make it into a pendant.
Very good, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't encourage him now.
Nice earrings. Hey, that's a telephone. Look. Hello? Yes?
I don't think it's really a telephone.
It was for you.
No, it's not for me. I refuse to take it. Right, should we have another question? Or
We can. I got 3 to go and 20 minutes to go.
And then we have
7 minutes.
a rather large find. So let's get a question done.
We're back to a question from this week's video yet again. This time it's a language question for all you linguists out there. What is the English translation of tresaith? Tresaith. Tresaith.
I'll type it in.
What is the... I think that's how you spell it anyway. What is the English translation of tresaith? I told the story of the legend of the king from Ireland and told you the name. Who can remember what is the story? What is the translation?
Now, Cody, I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah. So we got some answers coming in, and they're not all right.
No,
not full answers. The scythe, I think people are onto that, but it means something else as well as the scythe. Right then, I'll let you carry on looking there, and Crafty Caravanners is starting to get a very full story coming through there. You can certainly, you've been watching the video. 10 out of 10. Right. Sweet Blue said, Phil gets to hold the knives and get the illnesses. Yep. I'm not very good with dangerous things, but I am better with glue than Phil is.
Yes, I'm good with glue.
And clocks.
You know, problem is, if I was using glue now, my finger would be stuck in my head. And I'm thinking, right, now I got a problem. But, no, in all fairness, by choice, I choose to do the shopping. Caroline would prefer not to do the shopping. But Caroline would find it extremely frustrating. Because sometimes people don't really conduct themselves in a way that's conducive with caring about other people. Is that a nice way of putting it? And sometimes I go around stores and the staff they got arrows on the floors and they got a peaceful announcing, follow the arrows. And I'm following the arrows and I've got members of staff coming towards me the other way. And I'm thinking, there's not enough room here to do this. We need to be 2 meters apart. I deal with it quietly. Caroline would find that hard to do because it isn't easy out there at the moment, and I think you find it a lot easier to not have the hassle.
You find it a lot easier not being with me.
Well, no, we wouldn't go together anyway because they advise you go on your own. They only let one in. We always shopped together before COVID. But I think Caroline's got quite used to the idea now.
I know, I'm getting to be a lady of luxury.
Yeah, the freezer just fills on its own.
I know, it's like magic.
It's like Christmas. It's a bit like going to the hotel and the fairies come
and
make
I love
the
that
bed.
when you go to a hotel and then like sometimes we go on a few different hotel stops and it's marvellous because you leave and you turn back up because it's a hotel chain that we use. The bedroom all looks the same, but a fairy's been in, cleaned the bathroom, cleaned the living room, changed the bed sheets. I love it. I could quite well settle down to having a lady who does. That's what they call it, isn't it?
Well, I think everyone got the idea of 7. And we've got some, as you say, the idea of 37 I can understand because people are thinking tree rather than tray.
Yeah, but that would be 3 dig scythe, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
3 10s and 7. That's
but
the way of saying
that's
it.
why it's bringing it into people's minds. But the correct answer is, and I'm just checking now.
A couple of people have had the right answer to the story.
Yeah, I think the first person to get it was Crafty Caravanners. Am I right? Because they have place of 7. Then Tom Burley has place of 7. I can see why Margie got 7 sisters because she's thinking of the story itself.
Now there is a place on the way to West Wales that's called 7 Sisters, and I'm wondering now since you said that.
Yeah, because there
wonder if that's where the name 7 Sisters come from because I've never looked into it, but got me thinking now.
But it is the place of 7. And it's taken from the legend of the king in Ireland who had 7 troublesome daughters.
Poor man.
And we were watching West Wing earlier on because I've got a box set and we were watching through it. And the President Bartlett on West Wing was saying about how he went to one country and they was giving him a title. And every time somebody used this title and pointed to him, the men laughed. And then he said he realised what it meant. And it was father of daughters. So they were very sympathetic towards him. But this guy had 7 troublesome daughters, so he had a plan. He stuck them in a boat and set them adrift from Ireland, which of course is directly across the sea from where we were. And the legend is they landed there, they fell in love with the farmers there, they settled there, and it became the place of 7. So there we go.
Right, Jenny says there's 7 sisters in Manitoba, Canada.
Oh, right.
And Fee in the shed said there's a tube stop in London called 7 Sisters. And Margie said, Google said it translates to town of 7. Now, we had this discussion on the way there. Because Phil said it was place of 7. I said, well, Dre is actually from Drave, which is town. So it's the town of 7. And we were...
Yes.
And we didn't come to a final answer on that, did we?
No, we didn't. Because...
But Margie's on my side and Google.
Yes, but... I can't change it today when I'm asking questions from the video. And in the video, what did I say? Place of 7. I could hardly turn around to Crafty Caravanners and say, because my Welsh is rubbish, you can't have the answer right.
Yes,
but actually...
Okay. Yeah, we let Phil off then. But it is the town of 7.
But in the where I discovered the story of the legend was written that it is now known as the place of 7. Because there's no town.
Right. No, there isn't really, is it?
You got to remember,
there was a pub
when this happened,
and a cottage and a few newer holiday cottages and a lifeboat station.
Yeah.
So probably about 10 buildings at the most.
No, there was probably a few more than that if you imagine all the way up the hill. But at the time of the legend, there'd have only been a bay. I don't even know if at the time of the legend whether there'd been a pub let alone, because originally there was only a pub and a cottage, that's all that was there. So there was no town. So that's probably why the legend uses place of seven, because there was no town. But they use the word that obviously can translate for town or place. So I win.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Oh, Christina said 7 brides for 7 brothers. And Phyllis said, I love that movie. Oh, I used to love the dresses. If I remember this rightly, I'm pretty sure it's this film where they were wearing like check dresses, like a barn dancey thing. Like, I thought it was wonderful.
All the glitters are saying that they've got mountain ridges there called the 5 Sisters and the 7 Sisters up in Scotland.
Right.
Yeah, it's obviously, you know.
There must be an awful lot of families with 7 daughters then.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Very good. 7 plagues for someone else.
Yep, there we go. I was right. That's the one. Oh, I always wanted one of those dresses. They just look so glamorous. Well, not glamorous, just... I don't know what the word would be, because glamorous, you imagine a long ball gown. They just look so much fun, I suppose.
Yeah, it is interesting, Lexi. Lexi says there will always be a pub.
Yes.
The funny thing is, these days, you've got a community and they'll think we'll open a pub. But if you go back, there were times when they just opened pubs, because that pub was there, because of course fishermen would bring their boats down and they'd work off the bay, but they didn't live on the bay, so they'd go to the pub. So they'd build pubs where there was no community, which was quite strange, very different to now, where they look for a populace of people before they'd establish something like a Wetherspoons, whereas back then they opened up. We actually, the area that we go mudlarking in when we can only walk, down at the place that was known as Pont Aberbargad, I believe they were on the one hill. There were 7 pubs.
I think it was 7, yeah.
At the time when there were only 300 and odd people living in the whole area.
Cody said, with 7 daughters, you need a pub. Somebody's just in and I can't find them.
Yeah, interesting point.
Oh, Crystal and Roberta. Hello from New Mexico.
Yeah, interesting point there. Fee in the Shed saying that they drank beer because water wasn't so nice.
Yes.
In fact, water was quite poisonous. And the brewing, in Britain, we used beer, as they did in some other countries such as Germany and that. Then in France, they used wine. That's how they purified it. Of course, in China, they used tea. Yep. By boiling the water to make the tea. Tea didn't make you ill. Water did. So we all had our different ways.
A lot healthier in China, though.
Yeah, probably. Ooh.
Oh, thank you, somebody, for your coffee donation. Oh, thank you.
Sorry,
your name isn't in, but thank you, whoever you are. That's really kind
maybe
of
they
you.
didn't put their name in. Maybe we'll check after.
Chatting, let us know.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
It's very kind of you.
And your first one to christen our little brut.
Yeah, brut. Here we go. Here's something you see a lot of on these beaches. You didn't see a lot of shells.
No.
There was a lot of this, and I've got to find a use for this because I think it's beautiful. And that is slate pebbles. Because there's North Wales in particular has an awful lot of slate, doesn't it? And there's a lot of slate that's been well washed and just feels lovely and actually has a beautiful texture and looks so nice.
I like the stripes.
You know, Welsh slate. And I'm sure I'm going to be able to come up with something very clever to do with that so that we can make it into a product that can go into our new coffee shop when we open it. But I just brought the one piece to show people this time because being there a week, we'd accumulated a boot full of stuff. So there we go. That I thought was lovely. And do you want to show the big find?
Go on then. I'll just... Rachel said, due to iron ore and trains, Barrow grew so fast it was nicknamed the Chicago of Great Britain. And Catherine said, when I lived in Africa, we used that as an excuse to drink gin and tonic.
Few people like the slate, and Catherine also said, re-roof your shed.
Yeah, it could do. I don't know.
If I put a slate roof on our shed, it would collapse.
There was going to be a major update about Phil's shed. He bought himself a massive shed. And then...
For my birthday.
Changed his mind and cancelled it.
And then I cancelled the order.
So he's still using the same
almost, but I do have off my mum for my birthday a very nice
desk
to go in my shed.
But he hasn't got a shed.
No, but I'm working on it. And I will have my desk. I've got a lovely 3-foot desk and it's really old and it's gorgeous and I got it from the Woodworm and all. Got it from the auction. Brilliant. But here's a big find.
Christina, before I lose her, is collecting slate right now for place names at her wedding. That's a lovely idea.
That was clever, yeah.
Rosemary said, have Caroline paint on it. I could do one of those bargeway roses, couldn't I?
Oh, I tell you what.
Oh, go on then.
We've got a video coming up, which we hope to edit, and when we edit it, we're hoping to edit in some artwork, because I did on one search, you sent me a search for a particular shaped pebble, and I can tell you now, we walked over 1 million pebbles, and you don't find many this shape, but that's a little bit of an insight as to something that's coming.
Oh, look, Lisa said, it's my wedding too.
Here we go.
It's a rope.
Hello, it's a boy. It's a boy. There we go.
Now, it's one of the biggest finds we've had, and big but easy to carry.
And we're classing it as a ball. And it's Polyform U.S. Limited. US Limited. I wonder if that's from the United States.
Oh, yeah, might have come all the way. It's got CA on it.
Has anybody...
the other way.
Is there anybody in California?
Is that like a number plate the boats have?
Is anybody in California
lost? Have you lost your boy?
Because actually, if this managed to not hit Ireland on the way, it would have come from America, because that's the next
on a boat
place.
that's come from America. It's not big enough for a ship, and you wouldn't have a small boat come all the way from America, would you?
And it could just be that this company make them and they buy them all around the world.
Could be.
See?
And CA could be for Carmarthen.
See, US
We would buy Carmarthen, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
More likely to be Carmarthen than California.
But, there we go. I got a boy, which I was going to use to decorate the outside of my new shed, but now I've got to get another shed, because there were technical problems with the previous shed.
I can see it now, Margie. Margie said, can you see my comments? I can see it now. How is the brick project coming along, Phil? I'll embarrass Phil and ask him. How is the brick project coming along, Phil?
The brick project is coming great. I now have more bricks than when I did the brick project video, but that just simply means I have more bricks. Because combination of three things. One, we've been away. Two, the frosts have come and the weather has been rubbish. And three, I have been inundated with work recently. I have been inundated.
I'll be back now.
I have to conduct 11 services. I think I have 13 services in 12 days. I have one day when I'm doing 3 services in a day, so I've been inundated. So the brick project is pretty much as was in the film, because of course you can't mix cement and lay it if you're going to have a frost, because it'll just wreck it. So it's going to get done, but I've got a feeling it may be spring before I'm able to really get stuck into it. But I'm still collecting the bricks, because I'm hoping to be able to face the inside of the steps as well as the outside. And when I do my shed, I'm thinking of using the bricks as a base in order to be on the outside and put the concrete behind. So got a few other ideas as well. But in all honesty, if you were to look at that wall now, you'd think, I recognise that. It's exactly as it was when he filmed it.
Yep.
I got 2 questions in 5 minutes.
Right.
Do you want to do a question? Or have you got something to do
I'm
with
just
it?
saying, Kay Sunny said she loved the cosy white hat with the mouse shoes I was wearing at the beach. They're 2 pom-poms, they are. But
it's in the car.
Yeah, I just went to find it and it's in the car.
Yes, it's still
It does
in
look
the
a bit
car.
like a Minnie Mouse hat, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Right, question.
You lost that. Right then. This isn't our last question, but it is the last question related directly to something that was in the video.
Oh, directly.
St Caradog built churches in Llangrannog, Brittany, Somerset, and what other area of the UK?
Ooh.
Where else in the UK? He built churches, obviously, at Llangrannog. There's the church which we showed you. That's a Victorian one on the site. And I found out that that church is quite near the location of the cave that he lived in.
Oh, there we go.
And that's why they had it built there.
Oh, you could be answers. Ooh, you with us? Have you got the answers coming up? Because Phil's slightly delayed on me.
I have. I believe
Oh, Dawn said if the pom-poms were black, it would look like a monkey panda hat. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? 2 black ears and then white face.
Yeah. All that glitters, CA is for cardigan. Which makes sense, it was Cardigan Bay.
There we go. That does make more sense than California, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
I was just feeling a little bit extravagant.
Well, that's right. You know, what's the stop? Dream, dream, dream.
Yes.
Yep.
I suppose California as well as on the other coast, isn't it? I'm going to try and explain this to you. If there's America, and there's Britain...
This is worrying if you're now car.
This is my idea of geography. So that's Britain, that's America. Isn't California over here? So we would have to go all the way around and back to Britain, and then it would have landed over on the other coast, the east coast of England, rather than the west coast of Wales. Am I right? Is California there?
Right, the first 4 answers in were correct. Christina was correct. Dawn was correct. All That Glitters was correct. And top of the list, taking them to the lofty heights of leadership on the board tonight, it's Crafty Caravanners. It was Cornwall.
Done.
And I believe now Crafty Caravanners are edging the lead because we got Cody with 1, Dawn with 1, and Crafty Caravanners with 2. So it's all to play for because there's one more question to come before the night's over.
And I was right about California.
You were. Well done.
There we go. Right.
Just an interesting point. Leaving Somerset out for a moment, I did comment on the video how impressive it was that he actually had churches built in those places, because we're talking over 1,500 years ago. But it's interesting that if you go to West Wales and get on a boat and sail down, not knowing where you're going, the next landmass you're going to hit is Cornwall. If you then cross Cornwall and get in a boat and go down, the next landmass you're going to hit is Brittany. So these guys were just getting on a boat and going and landing and doing their thing, and many of those that travelled that route came from Ireland. The original saints came from Ireland and then worked their way through Wales down to Brittany, and that's why we've got all the Celts along that part. That's why Cornwall is a Celtic nation as well, with its own history and its own language and its own flag. Is because of that. There we go. I thought that was interesting.
There we go. Gripping stuff.
Oh, I tell you.
Oh, thank you, Rubber Banshee. Strikes my hat.
There we go. Yeah, Caroline did lose that. Remember on one video
yes.
You lost it. I found it. You'd gone ahead.
I think it was our first Yorkshire video,
yeah,
and it fell out of my pocket.
And I found it. You had gone, and I found it hanging on a bush.
A little bit of insider information though. When we went on holidays, I didn't think, so I hadn't washed my hat, and I'd taken it off quickly last time we mudlarked, so I got it out of the boot and it was stinky dirty, so I spent the week mudlarking in a really grubby cream hat. Cream is not the best colour for mudlarking.
I have to admit, Crafty Caravanners, I don't know the exact location. Probably be quite easy to look up. I got my information all about the saint, and I expected it all to be about Wales, but they told me this in there that he had done the travelling, so I didn't look up the exact location in Somerset, but it's going to be a church that carries his name in some form. But there are 4 versions of his name. The Irish have a way of saying it, the Anglicised have a way of saying it. That's why if you notice on the film, Caroline said, you seem to halt over the name. I said I had read it in 4 different ways, and I had to try and remember Caradog, because some say it with a Caradoc with a T and a C, and they change it, so it could be a slight mutation, but I'll try and find out for you.
Right, if you type in the name, because somebody's asked Crafty Caravan, I said, how do we spell his name?
Right.
So Mo has confirmed that she is a saint, and Kay Sully said when jets fly to Europe, they actually do fly up over Greenland, and we flew to Las Vegas for our son and daughter-in-law's wedding, and at one point everybody rushed to the one side of the plane, so we looked out, and it was amazing to see, because there were big icebergs in the water that just looked like a glass with ice cubes in, and it was an amazing sight. So our plane definitely flew over just the edge of Greenland. It was a marvellous experience.
Was indeed. It was. There we are. Caradog. Caradog. I believe that's right, but there again, I'm dyslexic, so...
It is. It's Caradog.
It is. That's spelled right. There's no doubles in there at all, is there? That's fine. But interesting stories. I love reading it. And it was beautiful on this occasion that an artist had created that amazing statue.
It's nice,
and
isn't it?
I don't know if if it picked up on the camera as well, but genuinely we could see him stood on there from the cave, and when we put the camera up there, you could see the cave.
Yeah.
And it was really and the detail.
Oh, I've got to stop you. Oh, thank you, Cody. We've got a $5 super chat from Cody Roberts. Thank you so much.
That's lovely.
Oh, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
That's very kind of you. We genuinely appreciate that.
Oh, Netta said, when will you come to Florida? There are several of us here. We would love to come to Florida. It's just at the moment we don't go anywhere. But
this is
the future,
this is our ideal dream, right? And that is to sail from Southampton to New York. That's the only thing I have ever said that I fancy doing, is going up the Hudson and literally standing on the deck and seeing the Statue of Liberty and being able to appreciate how many people have travelled that way from this land and all over with nothing but what they carried and built new lives for themselves. I think that would be such an historical thing to do. And then to travel from New York, stopping at 3 or 4 places on the way, meeting as many of you lovely people as we could, and ending up at Caroline's favourite place in America, that den of iniquity, Las Vegas, which we dreaded. And I know Nathan's in tonight, but he knows it's true. We were dreading spending a week in Vegas when we went to Nathan and Anya's wedding. Week in Vegas? And then I had a job to get her on the plane to come home.
I loved it.
It is like a adult.
It's like Disneyland without Disney's.
You've got to forget that it's real, because it's not. It's just crazy. We went on the monorail, walking through the. We didn't spend any money. We didn't go to any shows. We just walked through the hotels and looked at the shop windows. And
it was lovely.
It was entertainment.
And like this big pie. Some of you may have been.
Yes.
But in the front is the Treasure Island, is the hotel. There was this massive galleon, and they just had a free show where they'd all fight and fall off the galleon, and then the galleon would actually sink into a pond in the front garden. But that's how big the pond was.
And I say to people, where else could you go in America and end up having the reception in the Eiffel Tower? And then being on top of the Eiffel Tower and watching the Italian Bellagio dancing fountains from the top of the Eiffel Tower, then go around and go to a hotel that on the top floor has got an amusement arcade, which includes a roller coaster that goes out the top floor window onto the roof, round the roof and back in the other window. I said, that for me is just... It's
so larger than life. I like it.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola shop is a big Coca-Cola bottle and things like that. We did love it. So we would like to travel across America, making 2 or 3 stops. We know we would have to take in Florida and Tennessee for sure, because we've got so many of our friends there, and I'm sure there's other areas as well.
Margie said, I will take you to Sanibel if you come to Florida. Sounds good. So, I'd love to spend months and months and just travel. There are so many different places in America. You've got so many different areas. Everything seems, it's a bit like different countries almost to us, because we're so much smaller than the States. So I just love to try all the different states out.
M&M store, Cody. Yes, we went in there, and Jenny saying that she went on that. Scary. Yeah. It is. There is another side to it, but we just ignored that. And I tell you what Caroline loved the most: the temperature. Caroline does love the heat.
It was wonderful.
And the local weather forecast was describing it as sizzling. They had a heat wave when we were there, and it was in August. And amazing, walking down the streets, and they had huge fans with water hoses spraying, and the water was hitting us, and it was hitting us and then drying off.
Well, you were in the hotels, and it was all air conditioning, so it was quite cold, and then the doors would open, and it was like walking into an oven, and everybody else was moaning. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I loved it.
We're from Wales. You can tell.
Oh, there we go. Nancy said she shows around Texas too.
Yeah. Well, we would love to. We would love to take 3 months and tour. We would absolutely love to do that. But as I say, there's lots of things that got to get into place. We'd have to raise the funds, obviously. We'd have to make the plans. But at the minute, what we need is to see this terrible pandemic behind us. It will be some time. And such wonderful news about these injections and things. There's so much encouraging things coming through. So let's just live for the moment, get past where we are, and then, but we would love to come. We genuinely would, and we'd love to be able to hold meetups and say, right, can somebody tell us of a good venue and people could come and we could have a night with the Johnsons and have some fun and do a live show, literally. We'll film it for everybody else and have everyone in, have an audience.
It'd be a laugh, wouldn't it?
How about that? A live show with the Johnsons with an audience. That'd be good.
Right, we better have another question.
Go on then. always one to enjoy controversy. I'm going to ask another question about waterfalls having caused major controversy about the Niagara Falls. Because this question is, the world's largest waterfall drops nearly 2 miles. Where is it located?
Is that in one go? There's a lot.
The world's largest waterfall drops nearly 2 miles. Now, this is a weird place to find a waterfall. Where is it located?
We've got a couple of answers in. Are they right?
I want to know. I don't know the name of the fall. I want to know where it is.
Oh, right.
I'm looking for a location.
Right.
I'm looking for a location. And this is a controversial question. It is a tricky question. It is a really wicked answer.
Now, while Phil's waiting for the answers to come in, because I know you'll be disappearing soon because we were overrun, but would you stop saying oh?
I got a right answer.
Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say now. Before you go, just to let you know, Christmas night. Now, we're doing a live show on Christmas Eve.
No.
Aren't we? No, Boxing Day.
Boxing Day is our day, Saturday.
Because that's Saturday. But on Friday, Christmas night, I know a lot of people can't meet up with their families because of the COVID situation. And you may just be bored and lonely Christmas night because all the festivities are over.
When we're saying Christmas night in Britain,
yes,
it'll be earlier in other places and later in others. Our usual time.
We are going to do a live show on Christmas evening, same time, but it'll be on the 25th of December. Don't give up your family or anything, and don't not watch your favourite
if you've
programme,
got other things to do. Please, we are not looking for people to be with us.
But if you're lonely,
we're looking to be with anyone,
ease up.
Anyone who's on their Todd and thinking, I'd love to be able to do something. This is a chance just to come along and be part of it.
There's not going to be much mudlarking. We have some jokes, a bit of silliness, chatting, have some questions.
And I'll wear my Christmas jumper.
Oh, there you go.
With bells on.
Oh no, not the bell one.
I'm banned from wearing it to any family functions because I jingle a lot. So I'm going to wear my fancy jumper.
So if you're going to be at a loose end, December the 25th, 9 o'clock, Greenwich Mean Time, then
we'll be on.
And join us.
We'll be on. And we don't mind if 6 people are on. If those 6 people want a bit of company for an hour and a bit of a laugh, we're happy. All right? Yeah, and if nobody comes on, it means that you've all got friends and family around and we'll be thrilled.
But if you do have a Christmas jumper or a Christmas dress or something to put in your hair, then wear it. We'll all have a great time. Right then, answers.
Right. We've got correct answers. I've lost them, but we have got them, honest.
The thing is, our screens just fly so quickly.
There they are. And they came in quick succession. And Antoinette got it. Antoinette Daly got it. And Mo was a fraction of a second behind.
Oh.
It's Denmark, folks. Now, you wouldn't expect a 2-mile
drop. I would have thought Africa or something like that.
It is beneath the Denmark Strait, which separates Iceland from Greenland. It's at the bottom of the strait.
Ah, right.
Under the water, about 2,000 feet. Then it drops to 10,000 feet. And it is officially recorded as the biggest waterfall on Earth because the water literally drops 2 miles under the water. So there we go. You're right. Oops. But that means that the Crafty Caravanners with 2 points have come out on top. We had 4 on the leaderboard and they've won it tonight.
Well, a few people saying they'll be there, and Sandra said the 24th or 25th. 25th, Christmas Day. Christmas Day, but in the night, in the evening.
9 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. So for us, our Christmas usually is full of activity because we have a 3-day schedule for visiting all of our children and grandchildren and my mum and everything else. None of that is happening this year. We will see my mum, but it'll be sort of at a distance. We won't be having tea or anything. We won't be seeing, well, we'll probably see Max on Zoom.
Yeah,
and,
but we won't be visiting
our grandchildren because we just have to be careful. So we just want to take the time on Christmas Day. We want to put on a special event, just a bit of fun.
Yes. But don't expect anything serious.
But we'll be back here on Boxing Day for our regular one. And we will put out a video. But I shouldn't imagine we'll be doing a premiere because we'll put the video out. after the live show on Christmas, because that's due out.
It all gets very confusing over Christmas.
Due out on
we'll
Christmas
think of
Day.
the details.
Well, we may not put a video out anyway. We'll see how it goes. But
right then.
There we go. So don't forget, folks, put it in your diary. If you want to join us Christmas Day, 9 o'clock. We'll be here on Boxing Day because we're always here on Saturdays. And the previous Saturday, on the 19th, Phil's 60th big birthday bash. Lots of things happening, lots of great news about where we want to go with the channel and what we hope to achieve. So that's all going to happen soon.
Right, so I think we better let you go. It's gone 10 past. We've overrun again.
Yeah.
Probably not, but we've overrun. So thank you all for joining us. It's been great fun. We really enjoy having you in the chat.
I've got to say this. We had 100 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down, and then we got 101 thumbs up, so the thumbs down don't count.
Right.
And 133 people have stuck it right the way through for an extra 15 minutes.
Thank you all. We do appreciate it.
Brilliant.
And we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.